Let us now take a look at another Anga Karyam. Actually, it's a Nisheda Sutram which comes into play in the case of the affix lyap. Sutram is 6469, which says na lyapi, and the vritti says lyapi pare ghumasthaderitvanna, which means that the letter A for the verbal roots listed in 6466 ghumastha ga pa jahati hali does not get the letter E as a replacement when followed by the affix lyap. Let us first review 6466, which we have studied. 6466 says that the akara are the verbal roots having the gu sanya, and the verbal roots ma, which is meng pranidane from the bhavadiganaha, ma mane from the adadiganaha, mang mane shabdech from the jyotyaadiganaha, as well as mang mane from the divadiganaha, and stha, which of course we know is shtha gati nivrittau from the bhavadiganaha, and ga, which is gai shabde from the bhavadiganaha, gang gatau from the bhavadiganaha, ga stutau from the jyotyaadiganaha, as well as the substitution ga done in place of in gatau of the adadiganaha and iksmarane nityam adhipurvaha from the adadiganaha, as well as the substitution gang in place of ing adhyane nityam adhipurvaha from the adadiganaha. Recall that as per 6145, adech upadeshe shiti, the ending H letter of a verbal root. H means A, O, I or au, that immediately takes a substitution a, as long as we know it is not going to be a talavya shakara as a it following that verbal root. That is why gai becomes ga by 6145. Okay, the next root here is pa, which is pa pane from the bhavadiganaha, then ha, which is ohak tyage from the jyotyaadiganaha, because Panini says jahati. So only this verbal root ha and no other ha is referred to in the sutram. And finally so, which is sho antakarmani from the divadiganaha. The beginning mudhanya shakaraha of sho gets the sakaradeshaha as per 6164 dhatvadeshasaha. So all these verbal roots, their letter a takes the replacement e when followed by a affix which begins with a consonant and has a sanya of ardhadhatukam and is kit or nyat. Now the affix lyap satisfies all these conditions, because remember lyap comes in place of ktva, and ktva is a kit, and hence by 1156 sanivadadesho nal vidhau, lyap is also a kit. It also inherits the property of being a ardhadhatuka pratyaha, so it satisfies all the conditions required by 6466, and hence what would happen is that the letter a of any of these verbal roots would be replaced by e as per 6466 when the affix lyap follows, but that is not desirable. So that is why Panini now has this Nisheda Sutram, this prohibition rule, which says that letter A of the verbal roots listed in 6466 does not get the letter E as a replacement when followed by the affix lyap, even though all the conditions for applying 6466 are satisfied. Let's take an example from the Gita, verse 44, chapter 11. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasade tvamaham isham idyam. Pranidhaya is derived from the verbal root dha, which is well known to us. Do dhai dharana poshanayoho. Dana ityapyeke from the jyotyaadiganaha, preceded by the upasargaha pra and ni. There are three actions here: pranamya, pranidhaya, and then prasadaye. Because prasadaye is the last action, therefore the verbal roots denoting the prior two actions, they take the affix ktva as per 3421. So we start with dha plus ktva as per 3421 samanakartrikayoho purvakale. Now dha plus ktva is compounded with pra and ni using the sutram 2-18 kugati pradayaha. This compounding we study in detail later, but the important thing is that this affix ktva now stands at the end of the compound pra ni dha ktva. So therefore, as per 7137, samase nyang purve ktvo lyap, the affix ktva is replaced by lyap, and as per the Paribhasha Sutram 1155, anekashis sarvasya, the entire affix ktva is replaced by lyap. Remove these letters, the ending pakara of lyap geshti is sanyaba halantyam, the beginning lakaraha geshti is sanyaba lashakva tadhite tasya lopaha. So now we have pra ni dha ya. At this point, 6466 Ghu Ma Stha Ga Pa Jahati Sam Hali would have applied, but 6469 says Na Lyapi. So 6466 does not apply, and there is no substitution of a ikara in place of the akara of dha. To complete the form pranidhaya, we need a sutram to replace the letter na in the upasargaha ni by the letter na. That's the sutram 8417, which is our next sutram. 8417 says ner gada nada pata pada ghu ma sya ti hanti yati vati drati psati vapati vahati shamyati chinoti degdhishu cha. That will be our next sutram.